you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. It's an honor. Thanks for having me and inviting me, man.
No, thank you for coming on here. I've been following you on Instagram for a while now, and
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? The man meets the savage part. I don't know about the waterman. We'll find that part out, but you're definitely a savage. So it's an honor to
Thank you.
have you on today.
No, thank you, man. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for everything you said. I'm glad my content inspired you to, reach out to me. It's always an honor, man. I love hopping on these things and mixing it up. But one point on the savage thing, I mean on the waterman thing, I
Yeah.
do have some water skills. I was born in the Bahamas.
Oh,
So I grew up spearfishing and stuff. So I'm like a black unicorn. I could swim. I like to swim. I
yeah.
grew up spearfishing, and then I had a client that wanted us to get scuba certified, so I became a rescue diver. And then, yeah, man, I love the ocean.
Well, shit,
I
you're more
can't
of a
surf.
waterman than me. Then I would stay above the water on the ocean. You're down there below
Yeah, no,
doing savage stuff. So you're above me.
that's right. No, thank you. Gotta
Yeah.
refresh
You said what?
that, though. Yeah,
You
man,
said
it's been a
what?
minute. No, I said I've got to. It's been a minute since I've been in the soup. Like
Okay.
done a. But yeah, man, I love being in the water.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like my ocean therapy. It's saltwater therapy for me.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, but if I'm out of the water too long, my wife's like, "Have you been surfing lately?" I said, "No." She says, "Go, just go jump in the water. Get out of here."
Where are
So,
you out of?
I'm in San Clemente,
Oh, heck yeah,
California.
dude.
Yeah, where you at?
I'm in Orange, and when I got the city of Orange,
Mhm.
and then when I got out of the Marine Corps, I lived in Clemente for a minute, man. So
Yeah,
I was home for a minute. I love San Clemente, man.
yeah, it's nice out here. We're up in Tulare. We just moved from Huntington last July, so I used to always come out here to surf, and so now I have a 7-year-old son and a wife, and so we started making some roots here. So we love it. It's a nice little family beach oriented city. So yeah, it's good.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know you were in Orange, man. I'm gonna have to take one of your courses now.
Yeah, dude. When we have more stuff here in Cali, 100%. We did our one in Cali. We did one in Cali earlier this year, which is all blades and hand-to-hand stuff, which was awesome. Amazing lineup, man. I won't take
Yeah.
too much time bragging about it. We
Yeah.
got one going on in Florida here in October, and then we're gonna come back to Cali at the end of the year with something special. So it'll be good.
All right. Well, so I know what you do. I follow you, but one of the quick things, real quick, that I love about your website is this is what you say: your steadfast mission to improve the quality of the world by making good people more dangerous. Absolutely
Heck.
love that. So why don't you talk us through a little bit about what you do and how you got into it?
So now let's see. So started off Marine Corps infantry, which evolved into a career in executive protection. Uh, First, I was really blessed to start at 21. First year, we hit about 65 countries. We traveled more than the Secret Service did. And It just worked out perfect. Right time, right place, right relationships. Did that on repeat for 7 years. Became a kind of a domestic private security contractor. Started working for multiple companies, clients, farming out my services up here and then in Florida. Kind of rebuilt my career multiple places. That's where a lot of the skills I teach in my executive protection school come from. A lot of that, um, and then came back up to Cali, established my own boutique private security company. I got a master's in psychology, minor in forensic psychology. And now, really, what a lot of that experience in Iraq with the infantry and all over the world doing private security has really culminated into is a mission, which I think there is the reason I'm on this planet is to really multiply protectors, is to make the world a safer place, a better place by helping good people become more dangerous. So there's more on scene accountability, in environments. I was talking with a gentleman, interviewing a gentleman this morning, for my podcast. And he was just like, yeah. And we were talking about how in Israel, there's an active human threat, active shooter, active driver, active, stabber. And they might get 1.5 people before the populace just turns and
Yeah.
solves the problem, and he gets shot by everybody, and then that's it. Over here we're looking at body counts in the double digits. So my mission is to, with the stuff I post and things like that, is to help civilians see the world the way protectors see it, transfer those skills through other amazing leaders in the industry, so that good people are more dangerous, man.
Yeah.
And I've got an EP school where I train people how to have careers. I've written a book called Finding Meaning After the Military, and that's one of the cool things.
So it doesn't sound like you've been busy at all.
Nah, man, been hanging, living that Cali life, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Hard, man.
awesome. So what do you think would make the perfect student? Like when you somebody finds your course, are they completely green? Do they have a fighting background? What makes a perfect student for you, and what do you see mostly coming through your courses?
Um, Really, it's really interesting, and this is an issue that this is an equation we approach. When we're having our marketing meetings, is like, what's our avatar? What's our ideal avatar, target demographic? And I'm like, uh, everybody. And
Yeah, yeah.
they're like, well, how do we find everybody, Byron?
How
And
do you
I'm like,
pinpoint everybody? Yeah,
yeah, I'm like, the reality is that protection is a basic human need. You need
yeah,
food, water, shelter. If you don't know how to protect it, it's just going to be someone else's. It's just going to be someone else's. And you need to protect your way of life, your values, all these things. So, um, when we approach kind of our events, I invite law enforcement professionals, I invite private security professionals, and I invite civilians, straight civilians. The goal is to be able to take you from whatever your skill set is, no matter where you are on that spectrum, and bump you up to a level where you now understand how to protect yourself, and you know how to continue working the skills that'll make you more formidable. Really, it's not enough just to be good. We have to be formidable. Otherwise, evil will reign on this planet. That's just what I believe.
yeah.
So, no matter where you're at on that spectrum, with the symposiums, the protector symposiums, you should be able to show up, man, woman, child, no matter what your physical potency is, and take something from it. And because the instructors are so amazing, I'm just going to say amazing. I'm talking decades of experience. I'm talking teaching every agency that you watch movies about, every military force you watch movies about. Um, these guys have been doing this instructing, for years, and also teaching, the housewife, and also teaching like all over the spectrum. That when they know how to bring the training, make it palatable, make it effective. So whether you're a cop or private security professional, or just a civilian that wants to learn, you're going to walk away with some trash you've never seen before. Trash is a military term for stuff,
Yeah.
but Marine Corps term specifically, probably. But
We'll put an
yeah,
asterisk next to that and explain it below.
yeah, right. So yeah, man, that's good. That's the idea. I
Yeah,
want the population to. I want to increase the white blood cells in the body,
yeah.
essentially.
Have you had anybody take your course and end up having to use it? If you had a story from somebody or any kind of
Man,
oh shit moment?
that's that's what I'm looking. That is what I can't wait to hear about. We're on symposium number 4 right now.
Mhm.
I have on the executive protection side of things. I have an executive protection school, and we teach tactics, how to do EP, but we also teach how to achieve a successful career in the executive protection industry. And I have testimonials for days from those guys achieving the careers they want, which
Yeah,
is like so priceless. It means everything to me. And it puts so much gas in my tank. On the other side, though, because it's really, I have 2 brands. Like, one's public facing for everyone, protection skills, and one's executive protection facing, industry facing. And on the civilian side, I haven't had anyone say, "Hey, this saved my life," but I have had lots of people talk about how my content, how the tactical protection reviews and posting real world combatives and action has
yeah.
really changed their mindset, elevated their thinking, and helped them recognize things before they happen, for sure.
Well,
So that's an
I love your post where you're starting to dissect them more, and I love that where you boom and you get in there and you start talking about it. So,
thank you, man.
for those that don't follow you, what's your Instagram real quick, and they can follow you.
Yeah, man. Byron underscore Rodgers, Rodgers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that's the
I
home. That's my content out first usually.
Yeah, I've been doing some. I do Krav Maga. I've been
Nice.
fighting MMA style for like 20 years. But
Sweet.
now, when people ask me about fighting, I like the reality. I have a really good trainer and mentor out here in Orange County, and when something on the news happens or some shit hits the fan, I ask him, "Well, what should this person have done?" And then that's what I love about the training now. I know how to fight, jujitsu, all that stuff, but now I want
Yeah.
reality based. If somebody comes in that door right now, what am I going to do? Like all the training in the
Right.
world can't stop a guy from coming with a gun. So what do I? What? I love the scenario based training now, and I think that's what you provide in your courses, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the thing I think so many people don't realize that's so important is that the battle's so usually won or lost in the mind, you know?
Yeah.
Like that guy coming through the door, the preparation, like before I've even gone into that place, I'm looking at context. Like, where am I going? Like, what's my level of risk and risk here? Like, is it a house party with a bunch of cool, wholesome people? Is it a house party with not wholesome people? Are we in a bad neighborhood? Are there threats? What's my risk? Like, context. And then tactical positioning, like how have I placed myself in this room to deal with a threat that's coming through that door, so that I'm either like maybe in a hard corner and I can get a side shot in, or maybe I have visual mastery and there's enough distance there that I can snatch my family and get out of there, and
Yeah.
that ongoing risk assessment and situational awareness, and then finally being willing, capable, and prepared. Am I really willing to defend myself? Do I know when to be willing and when to use faster than you foo, man, faster than you foo, or am I capable? What is my personal protection starts with the person, uh, personal protection, self-defense starts with self. Like, am I actually capable of doing this, or is it just something that, maybe I've been on a square range or, practicing with friends? Like, have I practiced this at speed? Can I reproduce results? And being prepared for all those things. And that's all the things that go into it. And if you're doing all these things mentally and you're using all these mental shortcuts, so you're not like spazzed out when you're out in public, you can relax and you're already in a good position, and then if you're prepared by and you've been training your mind, you'll see these things as they arise before they come. As a private security professional, I see someone across the room about to get punched in the face, and I'm like, no, trying to get to him. It's like slow motion.
Yeah.
The other guy doesn't realize he's about to get punched in the face, and I'm like, no, trying to like move it, and then you just can't get there in time sometimes. But I want the public to operate like that. They have 5 sisters, and I tell them, hey, don't sit in your car and send a text message when you're getting off work. Like, just drive. They're like, oh yeah, security guy Byron, whatever. And then I'm like, okay. Profits without honor in his own home, fine. So then you start showing them real world action videos, and I want that microdose of trauma to really help people say, hey, this isn't Byron's theory. Like, this stuff is happening to people every day.
Yeah.
And if you see what I see, you do what I do, you have what I have. Perspective dictates performance, and that's what I want to elevate in the American public, in the world.
Yeah.
I have long answers, so you just
No,
tell me.
no, I got all the time in the world, my man. I love it. Um, yeah, so having 5 sisters, I mean, are they all in some kind of self defense course, or have you taught them enough, or do you feel pretty comfortable with them being badasses?
Well, yeah, my dad is like the ultimate. Like, I'm a much more like I'd use the word much more like still waters run deep. Okay.
Yeah.
My dad is like a storm. Okay. My dad is like, he got shot at point blank range with a shotgun when I was little
Oh wow,
and survived. Okay. Like,
wow.
he is a hard warrior, strong man type guy. So uh he's definitely raised all those daughters, put them in self-defense, taught them that they're the most baddest. Somebody comes out, like, it just would be bad for any average or normal guy, even
Right.
relatively normal guy, to do anything wrong.
Yeah,
Worse
that's
for them
good.
in
Yeah,
most cases, which is the way it should be, and
yeah,
there's a lot I'd say about female self-defense too, but yeah, that's the code, man. Be a warrior
yeah. I
and
have
know.
a Yeah, my wife and sister kind of make fun of me, like, "You're always thinking this and this and this and that." And then I show them some Instagram stuff where it's not so pretty, and they're like, "I don't want to
Yeah,
see this." I'm like, "This is reality. This could happen any minute, any day, walking around."
yeah,
So
just like that ocean, man.
yeah,
That Burrell's of chaos is down there.
yep.
Looking
Never,
up
never,
at your feet.
never turn your back on the ocean, man.
Yeah, man. Any given day, man. It's the
Yeah.
world.
So how did the book come about? The Finding Meaning After the Military.
Yeah, man. I got out of the Marine Corps, got into my career, had my own struggles, didn't realize that I was like ultra kind of addicted to my own dopamine, like I was adrenaline junkie. I mean, I don't like the word junkie, but like I was down, man. I wanted that, the ride down from, Marine Corps infantry ops is like it's like being a Lamborghini that's forced to drive in a school zone all of a sudden for the rest of your stinking life. It's like
Yeah.
this is like everyone's stressed out about how hard life is. You're like, this isn't even real. Like this is like
Yeah.
black and white TV, guys. Like what are you guys doing here? So, I went through my own struggles, but by the grace of God, got through that stuff. And then I started to just get the calls about suicide. Man, we lost this guy, we lost that guy, we lost this guy. And I'm like, dude, we're still at war. Like this is worse. We're all separated and we're still at war. So then I really started trying to think like, well, my guys are out there, we're all scattered and we're all still fighting our own little battles. Like, how can I help that fight? Because I was a squad leader, so I was out there with the dudes whipping it on, and I just remember like, how can I contribute to this war that we're all in? And that's when I got into, psychology and started getting my degrees, and did some stuff, studied with Tony Robbins, and had a strategic interventionist academy, and really started to try to figure out how I can make a valuable contribution to my demographic, and then um, ultimately it culminated into that book, Finding Meaning After the Military, which a lot of it comes from local therapy, which is purpose driven therapy. Viktor Frankl, you want to read a book that'll blow your mind, Man's Search for Meaning.
I like that.
It's
Yeah.
really a lot. That purpose driven therapy is finding purpose in everything, understanding that you develop purpose. Things that one of the things I talk about with vets is things that don't have a purpose. What do we do for them? Every single thing in your room right now has a purpose. That's why it's there. If you don't know the purpose for something, you're going to misuse it, abuse it, or eliminate it. Hey, babe, what is this? What's this for? Like, oh, I don't know. Okay, cool, throw it away. And that's what I think vets do with their job, with their lives after they get out. And they've essentially been self-actualized in so many different ways. They got all their basic needs. If you climb up that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you see like you got your social belonging and you got all these things, and then you get out, that gets flipped on its head. And, you had millions of dollars of equipment, like the Rambo speech, lives in your hands, and now you're working at Payless, or you got kids yelling at you, tell you to get the heck out the way at the supermarket.
Yeah.
And if you don't know your identity and you don't have a purpose, that stuff will, and then the atrophy of identity kicks in, which is what you turn into when you forget who you are.
Mhm.
uh this is how dudes tap out long before they eat their pistol at home. And so that's really what that book's about, the software for successful transition,
Mhm.
whether you're military or you're retiring, or you're in transitional space in life. These are dangerous places. This is Death Valley for some. So
Yeah.
that's my contribution to that.
Well, that's great. You can get that on Amazon, right?
Yeah, man. Amazon, my website, wherever you want.
Okay, cool. So I know I'm searching around on your website. You said now is the best time to be in executive protection industry. Why is that? I mean, besides all the chaos everywhere, but well, why do you think it's the best time?
Yeah, dude, man. Well, we represent safety and some semblance of order when we work. The world is actually, according to FBI crime statistics, it's safer than it's ever been. People are living longer than they're ever living. But the media and the perception of fear is there, and people need to know they're secured. So, private security is like one of the top five emerging industries in the world right now, according to some article I read that I can't remember. Um, the industry is supposed to double within the next 10 years, and that was before I read that article. That's another article. So since these different things, these tectonic plates of American society have been shifting around, we're finding that the private security professional is being more and more and more and more and more sought after, which is great for us. And we must be formidable and as advertised to do what it is that we're hired to do. But right now, man, we got so many different compartments, like different like areas of this industry are expanding, whether it's faith-based, whether it's around the medicinal marijuana stuff, whether it's around I got a guy right now putting plans to working with space programs. You know what I mean? Like there are so many amazing new categories, covert protection operations. Any agency that's operating in the world, there's private security operations going on as well. So there are big, huge companies right now that are doing private security operations. There are big that are private security centric, colossal companies. And then there's normal companies that also have private security departments. So, like when I got in, it was like, a guy who needs protection or knows a guy that's on a detail that has executive protection operations involved in it. But it was really wild, wild west, all relationship based. Now it's a legitimate job field with a legitimate career trajectory with benefits and stock options and all these different things you can make. You can come in and make low six figures pretty easily now. So um, what we're getting paid is increasing. Our packages are increasing. The career options are increasing. Man, woman, all of it, it's open right now and it's growing and it's beautiful. So,
Yeah.
as long as you understand how to market yourself and penetrate the marketplace and get the marketplace to react to you, you can really, no matter what your background, law enforcement, military, civilian,
That
in
was my
fact,
next question. Yeah.
yeah, you can penetrate this market. So, and that's the stuff I teach in my course to
Yeah.
help people get into this market.
Well, is there an age limit? Because I'm 46. Can I get in there?
Yeah, man. As long as you're marketable, you're dangerous. You're able to. We're selling security here, so you want the client to perceive that you can protect them.
Yeah.
And then the other huge thing that people don't realize is just like probably one of the most integral and foundational important skills is you need to be able to like uh have the client feel normal and at home around you, because sometimes I get meat eaters from overseas that are just killers, man. Like we can go hit a house right now, we can go serve some high risk warrants and go fight bad guys right now, but like, can I put you in the car with a billionaire and have that billionaire be like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
we're good? Or can you, the civilian advantage, can you walk into a room, with your client and not have everyone go, oh my gosh, like a bunch of mercenaries just walked in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just like a dude, and that's ultra marketable right now, because with the PC culture and all that stuff, like it's just money, man. So yeah, absolutely. It's you're very marketable actually.
Well, do you find that you guys or you in general build relationships with, I guess, the clients, or is it like a week and then you go on to the next one, or is it some like where you're there for 6 months, a year, or maybe longer? Do you build relationships with these clients?
The whole game, man, is relationship based. So
Yeah.
I mean, the relationship um thing is always, it's in so many directions. It is the foundational skill of becoming successful in this business, as with any business. So, relationships with agents you work with bring you work. Relationship with your employer brings you work. Relationship with your clients brings you work. I've had the same client for a decade, and um, like one of the clients I've worked with, I've just known him since the beginning of my career. And we still work together from time to time now. But then on the other side of the spectrum, you might get a 1 week gig, a 2 week gig, a 3 month gig, a 1 day gig, 2 day gig, and you need to definitely become that trusted advisor on that gig for your principals and clients. And so sometimes, yeah, you have these beautiful relationships with really powerful people, and you're like that indentured servant that becomes a family member eventually, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Um, and other times they don't even talk to you, but they are relationships. Something that I'm going to start speaking on and write a book about is social dynamics of executive protection, and that really is the hidden art of success in this industry.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, what looking for the perfect person that would come in, that you came into you and said, I want to be in the security industry and executive protection, what would you want them to have as a background? I mean, I know you do women, civilian, or kids, and you do the training for everybody. But in your eyes, if I walked in the door right now, what would you say? Man, this guy, I can mold this guy into the perfect executive protector and a badass. What would be the one you're looking for? Some traits.
Yeah, 100%. Attitude and character, the right attitude, and
Yeah.
character that I can trust. Those are definitely the most important things. You do need to have physical attributes, like you need to be physically capable.
Yeah.
But I can teach you tactics. I don't want to be anywhere near you while you're learning character. Um, you just have to, the cup has to be at least half empty, you know. But
Yeah.
it's nice if it's half empty and you're bringing some things to the table. But um, the hardest guys to work with are the guys, you know, that do have the backgrounds, or for whatever reason they have an ego that causes them to think they know the game, and they're hard to teach and hard to guide. You can have been Secret Service and work for the president, but you come on a new detail. Guess what? You're a fish out of water. You have your tactics that you bring to the table. Awesome. Thank you. We'll learn from you as much as we can. But on this detail, do you know that the client hates this color? Do you know that if you rent this brand of vehicle, the client will fire you? Do you know that, you know, we don't talk about these topics? Do you know that, you know, the history on this, that, and the next? Do you know where all the landmines and tripwires are socially that'll keep you in this game, you know, and keep my company in front of the principal, you know?
Yeah.
So it really comes down to, you know, and then some other things, just to answer your question more directly. I love seeing guys that have background in the service industry. Like if you're a barista at Starbucks or worked in service industry, and I know that you're going to understand how to interact with my principal and my clients. um, I love to see that you're continually bettering yourself, you know. So like you've been going to these schools, or you've been, the one thing that people don't actually, I think, capitalize on is like, what books have you read in the last few years, you know? So like when you open your mouth in front of my principal or my client, like do you have something valuable to say, or are you just going to be trying to make yourself look cool, you know?
Yeah.
um like how have you been investing in yourself? That's huge, you know. Have you ever led men, led organizations? Those things are pretty cool. I like to see guys that go to Toastmasters, believe it or not, 'cause that has a lot to do with confidence. Yeah, yeah, I actually need to find a local Toastmaster. Yeah, I need
Well,
to
they're
get
all
that
doing
going.
them Zoom now, so it's kind of shitty.
What?
Yeah.
That sucks. I can kill a Zoom. I need a room full of people, man, you
That's
know.
why I stopped going. I was part of the Huntington Beach chapter because I had
Yeah,
a best man speech I was gonna give, and I was like, "Oh, shit."
yeah,
And,
when you get the liberals in the room, it's different, man.
yeah, so I joined Toastmasters, and after I did the toast, I stayed in it for 3 years. I was VP of
Yeah.
membership, like, I loved
Heck,
it. I mean, it's you get so much out of Toastmasters, and then when they went to Zoom, I'm like, I started working on the computer. I'm like, I'm not nervous talking on a computer. I was nervous talking in front of 50 people.
right.
So I dropped out of it, but I think as the restaurants start opening up, I think they'll start getting more, more people to go to them. But
Heck yeah.
I love Toastmasters, and couldn't believe it when I told them I'm in Toastmasters. Like, you don't look like a toast. I'm like, what does a Toastmaster person look like? We had 18-year-olds, 85-year-olds in
Yeah.
Toastmasters, and I learned from all of them. It was a great experience. I love Toastmasters.
Heck yeah. Like
Yeah.
we can freaking strap on the gear and go and hit a house and shoot at people and things and do stuff and fight and all that stuff. I put you in front of a room full of people and tell you to introduce yourself. You know, we hook you up to a machine. I'm gonna watch your heart rate.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
That
Like it's
was
a whole,
me. That was my biggest fear. I could fight, I could do this and this and that. But
yeah,
when he told me, "Hey, will you be my best man?" Instead of being like, "Oh, that's so good. I'm happy for you." I was like, "How many people are going to be at the wedding?" Oh shit. Like, yeah,
right?
it's a real fear, and I had it, and I still do. I mean, I get nervous, but yeah, I love Toastmasters. It was great, but
Heck yeah.
yeah. So how long does it take to get? Like, I know you said you were on the fourth what symposium. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
How
So
how many courses do you have, and how long does it take to, you're training somebody?
yeah, man. So these events, I guess you could break them in. There's different categories that we've been doing. So we've done the Protector Symposiums, which is essentially all about soft skills, you know, and it's interesting because people don't seem to value these soft skills as much, but they really make all the dang difference. Like
Well,
you know,
real quick, that was one of my questions. What are soft skills?
okay, cool. Um, so I guess so the soft skills, this is the software that you're running of protection in your mind, you know. This is the I'm watching a civilian that doesn't realize that this is about to go from just social aggression into physical violence. They don't realize it. They don't have anything in there that's saying, "Hey dude, like you're about to get punched in the face." Like,
Yeah.
"Hey man, like why are we paying attention to that guy? What are we looking for on that guy?" You know, how do you behaviorally profile someone, you know? You know, this is a dangerous situation. How do you recognize that? You know, so your perspective And the software running your behavior then is the most important piece. That's how you stay left of bang, right? Another book you guys should all check out, Left of Bang. It's the whole doctrine of staying ahead of violence. So if you look at a timeline, this whole little area to the left is like before the bang happens, and then post bang is like now we're into hard skills and we're fighting and we're adjusting. But even in that, the software you're running, just to have, a weapon isn't enough. It just means that you're going to be in a violent altercation, and that violent altercation is going to be uh your survivability is going to be contingent on your ability to problem solve. And it just means that if you're in a physical altercation, it's now a life threatening physical altercation. And if you can't marry your soft skills and hard skills, you put yourself and everyone around you in danger because you brought a weapon into what could have just been a street fight, which a
Yeah.
street fight is also could possibly lethal altercation. Now, but it elevates that risk, right? So the soft skills, all this stuff, especially when you look at personal protection and having it start with the person, you know, uh, someone who's less physically potent with great soft skills is going to be able to avoid, is going to be able to get away, is going to be able to react, it's going to be able to make decisions on that chessboard before anything happens. This is the ultimate way to win a battle without even going to war. If you put a little Sun Tzu on there,
Yeah.
So um, that's really the soft skills. That's the software that you're running. So okay, you got a CCW, you got a gun, cool, dude. Like, what do you know about that? How do you know? Do you know what do you know about moving around in the world with that? What do you know about that that's going to actually make you efficient, effective? There's a lot of software that goes into that, and the hard skills is the actual shooting. The hard skills is the actual accuracy and speed and intensity and the tactics that you bring to bear. And so with the Protector Symposium, with the original one, we focused on soft skills. So important. We focused on CCW operations and behavioral profiling, and we had Ed Calderon talk about different things he's seen in Mexico, and which is one of the most sophisticated battle spaces right now in the world. And we had Yusuf Badu talk about behavioral profiling. He teaches the FBI that type of stuff, and we had Mike Pannone talk about CCW operations. And this stuff is huge, and he's had to move in countries where you're not allowed to have a weapon. But he's operating in these places, and these guys' pedigree is just out of this world. And then we get into dealing with fear, and we get into how to set your home up, and we get into all these different topics that are relevant to everybody. They had Jared Reston, who got shot 7 times in the line of duty, 1 time in the face during the same altercation with a 45, fought through it, won the battle, killed the enemy. Like, there's a lot of really, 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 really brilliant, priceless, robust software that goes into being able to navigate violence like that, not just your physical, but you have to marry the two. So then we get into the current structure for these symposiums now is 1 day soft skills, where you're doing like a 12-hour day, and it's like drinking from a fire hose, and all these guys are hitting you with hours of content all through the day. And then we have the hard skills portion, which is usually a 2 day portion, where you round robin then, and you go to the range or you go to the dojo, and you in one event get to learn from like 5 different instructors that are way cooler than me. I'm there hosting it and training with you, because that's half the reason I created these. And and you go deep into the art of personal protection for like 72 hours. And you come out the other side with a way deeper psychological and physical understanding of what it takes to protect yourself, your family, your clients, and the people you've sworn to protect.
Mhm.
And it'll change your life, man. People at the end of these things, I got tears. I got people being like, "This has changed my life." And then protection is more than just a job. It's a lifestyle. So then you start practicing these things that you've learned. You see through the matrix. You see the world differently. It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
When's your next one? Because I'm sold. When's the next one?
Yeah, man. So this next one's gonna be in Florida, in Southern Florida. Um, and it's going to be amazing. It's October 1st through the 3rd. And we have Lieutenant Colonel, I can get you the lineup real quick because I'm too excited about it. Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, On Combat, On Killing. These are seminal books that have really dug into the psychology of combat, killing, self-defense, and really what that, like, the long tail of these operations, and how people feel in these operations and deal with these types of things biochemically. Like, Lieutenant Colonel Grossman's a legend. We have Jared Wahungi coming in, and he's going to be soft skill centric. We have Jared Wahungi, and the rest of these instructors both teach soft skills and hard skills.
Mhm.
Jared Wahungi is oh, what's that beautiful place down there by Australia, man, with where they do the crazy dances, the
New
haka
Zealand.
dances.
New
New
Zealand?
Zealand. He's a New Zealand warrior, and he teaches. Yeah, man, they get out, and you feel it every time you see him. Your hair stand up.
Yeah.
He teaches integrated combatives to law enforcement agencies and militaries around the world. Which integrated combatives is, going from hand to blade to gun. How do you integrate all these different tools into like an actual robust force continuum? Because the reality is, you need to understand your force options. So we're going to study that with him. It's going to be awesome. And then we have another living legend, man. Tony from Real World Tactical. I'm really excited about him because he's a big boy. He's a monster, right? But he's so capable. He's got the hand-to-hand stuff down. He'll fight you. He'll shoot you. He's got his own Call of Duty character. Like, he's just a bad dude, man.
Yeah.
And he's been teaching for decades, agencies and law enforcement folks and all of the cool guys. And I've always kind of looked up to him because he represents for the big dudes, man. Like, it's not enough just to be strong. You need to be formidable and have
Yeah.
endurance, So it's an honor to have him, Real World Tactical, in the house. And then we're going to have these last two, man. It's like yin and yang. We got Craig Douglas, who is known as South Narc, and he was a narcotics officer for years. And what he teaches is extreme close quarters combat, self-defense. How do you draw a weapon when your enemy is 5 feet and in? So this is like the Formula One of combatives. You know what I mean? This isn't going to the range and being like, boom, boom, boom. Like, maybe you'll get to do that. But if you watch my real world freaking violence videos, like, it's not really how it goes down. And,
Yeah.
what if he's on top of you? How do you earn your draw and implement your weapon safely? So we're going to do all of he teaches an awesome course inside a car. As the age of Uber driving and all these different like ride share services. So we're going to be sitting and learning how to actually implement a CCW in a car, in a fight in a car.
Yeah.
So if you can do it in there, you can do it anywhere. And with human pressure on you, you will put all the gear on, roll around, and just get banged up a little bit. It's going to be awesome. I was talking to him. I was like, yo, man, how do you get cars for your courses? He's like, nope, that's on you, brother. He's like, it's on you to source the cars, but let me tell you something. Don't rent vehicles because we are going to destroy these vehicles. And I was like, all right, bro, we're going to get after it. So we're going to learn how to fight inside vehicles. If you can fight inside a vehicle, you can deal with somebody in a room. And then we're going to take it to the other side of the spectrum and fighting around a vehicle, shooting around a vehicle. What does offer you cover or concealment? What can you shoot through? How do you shoot through glass? How do you defend yourself around your vehicle? Because let's face it, until you get in your vehicle, even when you're in your vehicle, it's a transitional space. So this is where you're at risk, higher volumes of risk, So getting into a fight around your vehicle is something that very well could happen any day. And how do you make that vehicle an asset that aids in your protection? So these guys are going to come and blow everyone's minds, man.
Well, do you have to be invited, or how do I get signed up for this stuff? Because I'm in.
Yeah, man. No, protectorsymposium.com is how you buy your tickets. Tickets are going to go on sale within the next probably few weeks or month or so. Or if you get on my mailing list at byronrodgers.com, you'll get notified when these things go out. But then, I'm going to blast it out over social media too. So it's just going to be everywhere when I drop it,
Awesome.
man.
Well,
Follow me.
hopefully there's not a minimum people because I want in there. I definitely want to be there.
There is a minimum. And
Well,
these things are
I'm putting it on my calendar right now, and I'm going to be there.
and then who doesn't want to go to Southern Florida, man?
All right, we don't have to wear masks either down there,
Yeah,
right?
it's America and stuff.
There you go. Well, hey, you have a podcast too. I heard you mention it, but what is it about, and what do you do?
Yeah, man. So I have two actually. I've got Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, which is all about the industry of executive protection, how you get in, how you get out, what you do, all that stuff. But we also feature a lot of protectors, just protectors really on there. And so, it's more than just a job. It's a lifestyle is the mantra for that podcast. And we drop episodes every week. And then I have the Protector podcast, And that's really the civilian facing side where it's like, this is just the study of warriors, the study of protectors, and um, how you can learn from them and implement things in your life that'll elevate your protection game. So the
Yeah.
Protector Podcast and Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, you can find both of them on my website. But we
Awesome.
put it out to every podcast hosting platform out there too.
Yeah. Well, where do you train out here in Orange? Like, like, do you MMA or any kind of training out here?
Yeah, man. I have a guy, Jeremiah, that comes over and actually train a lot of executive protection centric tactics. So, like right now, I'm so packed, I don't have time, and I got to make time. But I haven't had time to really get in with a school. So he comes over and we whip it on. We whip out the mat. We whip out the pads and roll around on the mats and things like that.
Yeah.
And then, really, the my primary martial art is American martial arts, man. It's gunfighting.
Yeah.
So I, with that regimen, I go to courses in the area, and then I go to local shooting matches like multiple times a month. And that's how I stay warm with that, because it's non-standard problem solving with your tools.
Yeah.
It's fluid intelligence. It's not like, on the range we practiced this. So now I have like training scars and kind of software in my brain that's like, this is what you do. No, it's like, no, here's the equation. Here's 6 equations today. Solve these as best, as accurately and quickly as you can. And it's just kind of like sparring with your gun in some ways.
Yeah.
Um, so that
Yeah.
mixed with some force on force stuff with Solutions Group International, and also, stop running from me. It's going to come to me. They literally just sent me an email the other day. I was like literally just looking at these guys' email. Da, 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 da. Um, ah, Artifacts. Jeez.
Yeah.
Artifacts is another local training cadre. And I think the thing with that is get in with a local training cadre that'll teach you the art of gunfighting from hero to zero. And you can stay in that and continue improving your skills.
What range were you at when you posted on Instagram the other day? Where,
Ah, I actually can't even tell you if you're talking about last
okay.
night. We were doing an in doc for one of my details, so guys were coming out and doing tryouts to join a detail. But that's a private range.
All right. All
But
right.
usually in the area, man, I frequent Rahagi's, Prado. If you go on a website called practicescore.com, you can find out where local shooting matches are in your area all over the world. And you just sign up, make sure you have, I'd say bring 3 or 4 mags and your sidearm, and make sure you got a good holster, and they like you to go exposed, and some mag caddies, and just go out there and be safe, take your time and run your own race. It's not competitive shooting, isn't like a high stress, like we're in a competition. It's like golf. It's like, all right, cool, you're up.
Yeah.
um, and you just run your own race as best you can. And if you want to know where you stack up, you can just go online back to practice score afterwards and see where you score at. But
Yeah.
um, it's really cool, and there's great people that'll support you. And you tell them it's your first time, and they'll walk you through your paces. And it's a great community.
That's what I've noticed because I've recently got into shooting. And I just really everybody's super helpful. Like I'm terrible at shooting. Like I went to a couple courses. Like
Yeah,
I do well in the fighting part. You give me a gun, they're like, "What are you aiming at?" I'm like, "I don't know." And, but
yeah, right.
everybody's been real patient, real helpful, and I'm just sucking it up like a sponge. I love it so much. So yeah, I don't know
Awesome.
if I'm ready for any tournaments, but I want to get better at shooting for sure.
Yeah, man. If you ever want to come shoot a match with me, just you got my number. I'll make sure you have it. But send me a text, and we usually sign up about Tuesday, and then just meet up on Saturday at 8 a.m. at the range, 7:30. And then
Yeah.
be out of there by 1 or 2. And yeah, man, for sure, I'd love to walk you through it, man.
All right. Well, the same invitations for surfing. Anytime you want to go get wet above water, I'm not going below. I don't want to see what's below there. I'll take you out surfing and we'll go have a good time.
Heck yeah.
All right, Byron. Well, it's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I appreciate it. And I got October 1st to the 3rd marked down, so I'll see you then too.
It'll be an honor, man. It'll be really cool. It's always beautiful to meet people from the digital realm that come and train with us and shake hands and
Yeah.
hang out, just get after it and have a good time together. So it'll be an honor. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you, man. Thank you for bringing me on.
All right. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it, and I'll reach out to you soon, brother.
Heck yeah.
All
Boom.
right. See ya.
Do you need it?